Good day! I am Michelle Tulagan and we are about to present and defend our research entitled Challenges in Remote Learning Experiences Among Business Students. We would also like to acknowledge the presence of our research professor, Dr. Willie Gapasin, and to our research advisor, Dr. Raul Rafael Ramos, and to our panelists, Sir Eduardo Tada, Sir Miller Mercado, and Dr. Madonna Sinigia. And together with my groupmates Russell Balyasa, Christine Jade Burden, Carl Ann Carado, Apple Joy Candidissimo, and Jomar Velasco.
And the next slide will be the background of the study to be presented by Mr. Jomar Velasco.
Thank you so much, Ms. Tulagan. So for our background of the study, remote learning has become widely and become the required mode of learning since the pandemic began. And because of our current experience in remote learning, we're aware that the many students have challenges. The majority of the students are having trouble connecting to the internet, while others are dealing with distractions such as noise environment. Students adjust to the shift and continue to learn online, and even if they did not agree to this type of class, they still adjust to it, and we created a motivation for ourselves to guide and encourage us during this remote learning. And we find out that having motivation in studying help us to continue and strive harder. And this is why this research studies is made in order to know if this remote learning really affects the academic performance of the business students in Jose Rizal University. For our statement of the problem, the goal of the research is to learn how business students are affected by remote learning in terms of difficulties, and to better understand the students' academic program. Also, to know it, there's significant relationship between the said topic. The first question is, what are the challenges encountered by the business students in remote learning as to distraction, motivation, technical, schedule? For the next question is, what was the academic performance of the business students last school year? And for the last question is there's a significant relationship between challenges and academic performance of the business students? So for our hypothesis in this research, there is no significant relationship between challenges and academic performance of the business students.
I am Christine Jade Burden, and now let's proceed to Chapter 4. The chart above shows the different categories of challenges as the distractions to the business students during remote learning. The highest bar indicates that using a cell phone or gadgets during an online class has a weighted mean of 3.60. To the highest bar indicates that a noisy environment while taking an online class has a weighted mean of 3.2, while the third bar indicates that slow internet connection has a weighted mean of 3.10. Fourth bar indicates that interruption by friends and family have a weighted mean of 2.95. The last bar indicates that an uncomfortable study environment have a weighted mean of 2.76. And as a result, the use of cell phone during online classes is the most common source of distraction for respondents. The above illustrates the different categories of challenges that business students face as to motivation. The highest bar indicates that to graduate has a weighted mean of 3.92. Second and third bars indicate both the completion of assigned activities and the enhancement of ability and competency have a weighted mean of 3.60. Fourth bar indicates that the eagerness to learn new things has a weighted mean of 3.52. The last bar indicates the improvement of study habits has a weighted mean of 3.32. To graduate is the most common reason that motivates the business students in remote learning. For the schedule and technical, here is Ms. Candidissimo.
Thank you, Miss Burden. Good day, panelists. I'm Applejoy Candidissimo, and now I will present to you the result of the third and fourth sub-variables, which are the technical issues and schedule. In technical issues, it illustrated the different levels of the bar chart wherein the business students has been encountered during remote learning. The sudden loss of internet connection has the highest bar with a weighted mean of 3.37. The second highest bar is the hardware loss with a weighted mean of 2.87. The third bar is software glitch with a weighted mean of 2.78. The second to the last bar is power interruptions with a weighted mean of 2.71. And the last, no Wi-Fi in your area with a weighted mean of 2.68. As the result, the sudden loss of internet connection is highly encountered by business students of Jose Rizal University. In schedule, it also illustrated their differences based on encountered by the business students during remote learning. Here, the highest bar we have is capable of adjusting to the present schedule with a weighted mean of 3.30. Next to the highest is keeping track of both personal schedule and school schedule with a weighted mean of 3.18. The third bar is have a work-life balance routine with a weighted mean of 2.76. Next is unavailable suitable subject schedule with a weighted mean of 2.57. And the last, conflict in schedule with a weighted mean of 2.53. As the result, the business students of Jose Rizal University are capable of adjusting to the present schedule. Next slides will be the fifth sub-variables to be presented by Ms. Belleza.
Thank you, Ms. Candidissima. Moving on. As seen in this graph, the challenges encountered by business students in remote learning in terms of being left behind, the unable to keep up with lectures is rank 4 with 2.59 weighted mean. The lack of appropriate online course materials is rank 5 with 2.54 weighted mean. As for loss of focus due to personal problem is rank 2 with 2.84 weighted mean. And the sudden emergency during online class is rank 3 with 2.86 weighted mean. All are rated as encountered, except for being able to communicate with professors and classmates online. It's rated highly encountered with 3.27 weighted mean and is rank 1.
Education is the key to personal development and society's future. It creates opportunities and reduces inequalities. Therefore, no one should feel being at the back when studying. Being left behind is rated with an overall weighted mean of 2.80 based from the result of the survey. Online communication is one of the ways business students are having with professors to overcome this kind of difficulty. Based on the evidence and sensible discussion presented in the prior chapter, the challenges encountered by business students in remote learning in terms of distractions. Distractions come in different forms. It can be an environmental distraction, a gadget distraction, or being distracted by a person like from a family or a friend. From the survey, it showed that using a cell phone or gadgets during online class is highly encountered by business students. Regarding motivations, to graduate in both successfully completing of assigned activities and enhancement of ability and competency have been found as highly encountered by business students. A good perspective can really set the tone for how students experience their studies.
Technical. As for technical, sudden loss of internet is highly encountered by business students. One of the major stumbling blocks with regard to online learning is the lack of strong and stable internet connection.
students find themselves in a challenging position. When it comes to schedule, capable of adjusting to the present schedule shows that business students were highly encountering this. Schedule can be tough, but when handled well, it should go smoothly as planned. About being left behind, being able to communicate with professors and classmates online have found to be highly encountered. Despite being left behind, business students of Jose Rizal University are able to communicate with professors and classmates online. We researchers analyzed the grade point average of business students. Majority of the respondents have a GPA in the range of 1.6 to 2.0 in terms of remote learning.
And to interpret the academic performance of business students last school year, we conducted a survey to 63 business students at Jose Rizal University. And it revealed that 13 business students got a GPA in the range of 1 to 1.5. And it followed by 35 business students who got a GPA in the range of 1.6 to 2.0. While the 12 respondents got a GPA in the range of 2.1 to 2.5. And the remaining 3 business students got a GPA to 2.6 to 3. And none of them got a GPA of 3.1 below last school year. So moving on to our conclusion, our first conclusion is that the distraction is one of the biggest challenges for the students because of their gadgets. And there's a tendency for the students to be tempted to use their gadgets during their online classes. And because of that distraction, students might feel or sometimes they feel that they are being left behind. And when it comes to the motivation, we conducted the students have been motivated to graduate despite all the challenges that they have encountered. So the researchers' second conclusion is that the technical issue of the students that they always encounter is their internet connection, as it is sometimes get lost suddenly and it makes them disconnected from their online classes or their online meetings. Schedule is also hard for the business students, especially for those students who have a lot of responsibilities in life aside from studying. Based on the research, it's not that a big deal for the business students because they can always find a way to plan it beforehand. Just like we can access the Canvas anytime and anywhere, and we can advance reading our module there. And if the students only knew the time management, the schedule is not that a big deal for them. And therefore, the researchers concluded that there is a significant relationship between the academic performance of the business students and the challenges that they have encountered. And these challenges like distraction, motivation, and being left behind affected the performance of the business students. So, students felt left out and distracted if something happens before, during, or after their online classes that affects their academic performance and their academic achievements that might result to lack of motivation. On the other hand, maybe technical issues and schedule is one of the challenges, but it doesn't necessarily affect the academic performance of business students. And all that is based on our research results.
Looking at the table, we can see that the highest points are being left behind with a value of 0.68, distraction with a value of 0.61, and motivation with a value of 0.48. It implies that these are the challenges that students encountered while partaking in remote learning, which had a great effect on academic performance during the previous school year. The remaining challenges in remote learning that did not have a significant impact on their academic performance are only technical issues with 0.19 value and schedule with 0.03 value. Finally, following the conclusion, we were able to make these recommendations. The first one is for students. To focus more during online classes, students should turn off phone notifications and use offline study materials while creating a life planner during online classes, freeing up time for schoolwork. For faculty members, they can help students become creators of their own careers by claiming ownership in their own work in order to boost students' motivations, while providing positive feedback, allowing them to acquire competence. Faculty members may also record live discussions and post each video to a class group chat to view lectures at their convenience. Finally, school administrators may employ technology such as virtual smartboards, discussion forums, student surveys, and videos to gather information about students' feedback and experiences in order to develop solutions to their specific concerns.